First of all, incredible job on this movie. It is great to see you. You've played unforgettable survivors with Handmaid's Tale and Cam, but Anniversary feels different. Anna feels both a truth teller and a target. Anna's a stand-up comic in a world that's losing its sense of humor. Can you talk about finding her voice, that mix of defiance and truth telling that makes her so magnetic?
Yeah, I mean, Anna is a favorite character of mine. I mean, the blueprint is George Carlin. No one, no one ever did, and no one has since done it as well as George Carlin did it. Um, that like that kind of dry but so honest and like devastatingly honest critique and observation of the world, but with a hilarious twist to it all. It's such a beautiful he wielded that ability so magnificently. And so this is kind of about Anna's he's the blueprint for Anna. And she lives in I mean, George Carlin got his fair share of backlash,
Yes.
as many comedians do, for better or for worse. But Anna is quite literally it destroys her in a lot of ways. It destroys her ability to be with her family, and which is her lifeline, her and then, towards the end, we see what happens there. Uh,
Yeah, it's a scary, scary future that I feel is all too real in a lot of ways. Now, Anna's comedy becomes a form of her protest. It's how she fights back. Now, given some of what's going on with freedom of speech, even with what happened with Jimmy Kimmel, how much does Anniversary feel like it's tapping into what's really happening right now?
I think I was just talking to Jan, our director, about this, is that the conception of this movie was like 2018 and we shot it in 2023. And it's getting more and more prescient. It's becoming more and more, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, becoming more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Relevant?
Relevant? I was looking for a different word, but relevant is probably the better word. Um, Yeah, and I mean, I feel very um I feel really lucky that I'm able to do work that takes on a life of its own. I mean, like The Handmaid's Tale fully has taken on a life of its own outside of the show that we've shot and the show that we made. And this, I hope, I'm glad that it's falling in line with that kind of resume of mine. I enjoy doing work that can be discussed more widely than just that was a great movie or that's a fun TV show. Um, because I mean, this really is this is a big form of activism for me, I guess.
Look, I watched the end of that movie and I can't stop thinking about it. Now, for fans of The Handmaid's Tale, they know how deeply you live Janine's journey of oppression and defiance. Now, Anna's journey feels different, but similarly intense. What do you hope fans of Janine find in Anna, and what new ground did you want to explore from that past role with this?
I was just talking about this earlier, and I thought, oh no, there's nothing like them. There's nothing similar about them. They're not alike in any way. And I realized, I mean, of course they are. There is like a dark cloud of oppression that's coming down upon them, and they resist, and their resistance and their bravery, this courage looks very different. We're in two very different spaces with two very different characters, but that undercurrent, that fire that will not be extinguished. It is, I'm very, very proud of both of them. And the ways in which, Anna rages against the machine. She is loud, she's provocative, she's very intense and profane, and Janine, her resistance is in um, her inability and her staunch refusal to allow them to take her away from herself. Janine's is much more quiet. Yeah, there's a few moments here and there when she says "suck my dick" and all that, but she never stopped seeing the bright side. She never stops hoping for the light, and that in and of itself is resistance. They can look very differently and achieve the same goal. Happier ending for Janine.
Absolutely. Well, look,
She
this
earned it.
yeah, this film is absolutely incredible. I love the way that time is kind of framed as almost a character itself, but incredible job on the film. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Joseph.